And welcome to episode, I think it's 17 now. I've put it in the title and I forgot already. That's how bad I am. That's how the day is. One of them days where, just been relaxing. Should have done work, but I've not. But we're here, episode 17, I believe, with the main man, South Jersey Sports Cards. If you don't know, get to know.
Yes,
Get to
sir.
know. You
Yes, sir.
probably,
Thanks for having me
hey,
on, brother.
pleasure. Absolutely. You may have seen him at shows at Southampton, London. You've been to. You done any shows over here yet? Just them two.
No, I've been to the London show twice, and then I was just outside Southampton this past weekend.
Yeah, that's true. It's a shame because you do support United, but
Unfortunately, at this point.
yeah we'll get back to that later actually because Champions League football and stuff
Oh
like that. But
dear.
we'll get back to
Oh
that
dear.
later. Oh Nana, what a save! Oh Nana, eh?
Yo,
There
relax
you
with
go.
that. Relax.
Hey,
City
listen,
didn't have the best weekend either, so relax.
we just beat Leipzig.
Okay, what happened in the what
You
happened
know,
in the Prime this past weekend and that perfect
come
record?
on, no De Bruyne, no Rodri, no Bernardo Silva. Like, what team can do about them three and do well?
I don't know.
Exactly. Listen, we've got to give these little teams some points every now and then to help them, keep above water. You know what I mean?
Pity points.
Exactly. It was part of the deal to get us Nunes. We said we'll give you this amount of money and we'll give you 3 points, and we come in a few weeks and said, yeah, go on then. So it is.
Sure,
So it
sure,
is.
man. Whatever help you sleep at night.
That does help me. Yeah, that does help me. I'll talk about the Prem though. Who do you think? What's your top four for the Prem? Who's gonna finish top four, and who's your bottom three this year? It's gonna be interesting.
City 1,
Ooh,
Liverpool 2.
nice.
Dude, honestly, it's tough. It's tough to say. It's honestly really close. Arsenal 3,
Serious.
as much as I hate to say it. And then should I just be optimistic and say United squeaking 5, Newcastle 4. Newcastle 4, United 5.
So
Don't
we're at
trust
Tottenham.
Tottenham. Don't trust Tottenham. Don't trust them.
Wow.
And Brighton as well. I think they'll honestly, I could see either Tottenham or Brighton being 5th instead of United, but I want to
Yeah.
keep morale
Because
keep morale
Tottenham
high.
in Europa League,
No,
they miss out. See, that's why I think they'll do well.
it could
No,
be,
no
but
Champions League, no Europa League, less
they're
games.
so reliant. They're so reliant on like one or two players. I don't know. Something happens. High risk of you know, high risk of
Yeah,
injury. It's over.
but they play for the manager. It's a bit like Tottenham the Poch. Like they play for the manager and they play well. I've not seen them play this well for a few years, and they're playing well.
No, that's true. It's true, but like they lose Madison, for instance, like it's over. They got no one to pull the
It's over.
strings. They got no one to pull the strings. Or
True,
they
but
lose Son. Who's scoring? Who's scoring any goals? I think
yeah, well,
Madison would definitely be a bigger loss than Son, but still.
yeah, but you know, I think because that's such a good start, they might invest in January. I think they might say, you know what, let's back him here because I think they'll be up there. It comes January, they'll be up there.
It's true. Dude,
So
I've just seen them bottle it so many times over the years. I can't. I don't know. No faith.
yeah.
Say
I'm
I
just
have
saying
no faith.
yeah, I think the problem is now. So you've got City, obviously you're out of Carabao Cup, but they're going to be FA Cup, Champions League. They should be up there for the later stages. They've got a lot of games. You've then got to look at Liverpool, got Europa League, and they're probably going to want to win that because what else have they had for the last couple of years? They've not done anything. So they're probably going to go far in Europa League, maybe win it. Then you've got to look at Arsenal. They're going to be up there. They've got a strong team. They need a striker, like a goal scorer, but they'll be up there. And then I just think Tottenham are playing really well, so it's hard to discount them. It really is.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'd
No,
be interesting to see if anyone makes a move for someone like Oshiman or Ivan Tony, maybe.
that's what everyone's saying. Well, aren't they saying like Tony to Chelsea?
Yeah, they need a striker. Jesus,
Yeah.
I tipped them to be top four at the beginning of the season because obviously no Europa League, no Champions League.
I did too. I thought they were gonna
1 billion.
bounce back. I thought they were gonna bounce back. But nah, not
100%.
anymore.
Yeah, serious. 1 bill on players, and you bring in Pochettino. I was like, yeah, say less. They're winning. They're going to win the league. One game a week. Like Leicester a few years ago, they've done it. 2 games in, I was like, Jesus Christ, they're a mess. They paid us 40 mil for Cole Palmer.
I know. This is crazy. Crazy.
Uh,
After I saw, honestly, I was concerned about Liverpool too. Once they stole Caicedo, I was like, yo, what is going on here?
they,
But no, Liverpool
it's
turned it around, and honestly, Caicedo ain't looking too hot. So,
serious.
it is what it is.
Yeah, Liverpool mids worked out well. Szoboszlai, Gravenberch as well, good players. So it's worked out well their midfield. It's like younger, refreshed. It'll do well. It'll do well.
Yeah.
Whether it does it this year or not, I don't know. But yeah, it'll be interesting.
Only time will tell.
Exactly that. And Newcastle, listen, good performance against PSG. I didn't expect that. 4-1. It was unbelievable.
Wild.
Serious. And again, the draw now at AC Milan seems good for them. They're top of the group. It seems good for them. But how far can they go? And have they got the strength in depth? And I think that's where they'll fall off. Same with Brighton. I don't think they've got the strength in depth to go far in the Europa contest and still do well in the Prem. Because it's relentless. Like just that November, December, January, relentless in the Prem. Relentless.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of teams will fall off.
You ain't wrong.
That's my thing. Well, enough on. I say enough on the Prem. Let's introduce yourself. So let's speak for people who don't know who you are. Who are you?
Who am I? So my name's Josiah. I'm from New Jersey in the U.S. As you can tell probably from the name. I buy, sell, trade, collect, whatever you want to call it, sports cards, primarily soccer cards. Love a little trip over to the UK whenever I can make it. I've been in this hobby since mid 2019 briefly, and pretty much since. Um, yeah, pretty much that.
Yeah, so what got you in the hobby then?
Honestly, I got into the hobby, so it was honestly right around the time I just got into college, and I was actually starting my landscaping company because I'm like, okay, I don't want to pay for I want to pay for college. I don't want student loans. I need to make a way to make money X Y Z.
Yeah, of
So I
course.
started naturally, I guess. I started a landscaping company, and I was building that stuff up, and kind of one of the guys I was listening to kind of like get information to do that was Gary Vee. And right around that time he started talking about sports cards. And as a kid, like I'd kind of collected a little bit. I'd kind of got into it. I mean, not in like in a monetary way, but I'd rip packs I'd get
Yeah,
for Christmas or your birthday, whatever. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I remember doing this. It's kind of fun. I know sports. So one day my cousin was sleeping over our house. I remember well, and we're like, you know what? Because he was the same sort of story, and he was like, you know what? We have a little bit of money. Maybe we just buy a couple cards and then see what happens. I remember first purchase.
oh yeah,
I was trying to bid. This is like Luka Doncic's rookie year. He's like right after he won the rookie of the year. I was trying to bid for a lot, not bid or like buy now a lot of 20 base Luka PSA 10s. The guy wanted 1750. I wanted 1650 for a lot of 20 on eBay for the base. And I was like, I don't want to spend that extra $100. Don't want to do it. It would have been like instead of $70 per card, it would have been I wanted like 65 a card.
yeah,
Ended up not pulling the trigger on that, but I bought like 3 Luka bases, like some De'Aaron Fox, Trey Young. So I kind of diversified a little more instead of just buying that one big purchase, which is like kind of like all the money I kind of had to spend.
yeah.
You know, we all know what kind of happened with those. Those cards, they all went up to like 2K each.
Yeah.
And it would have been nice. But slowly after that, got into more soccer cards, buy, sell, trade, grade, that whole thing. And you know, eventually got here. Long story short.
Yeah. So obviously being from the US, what got you into soccer? Because obviously we do probably see you guys as more of NBA, NFL. So why soccer?
Yeah, so I'd played soccer my entire life. My whole family played soccer. They're from like my mom's and her side, like she was born in Poland. My grandparents are born in Brazil, so I mean, it just makes sense. my dad and my grandpa both played college soccer. I played college soccer. So I know it and I like it way more. Plus, uh, honestly, the price points for soccer cards compared to NBA and NFL cards, like it's ridiculously cheap when you compare like apples to apples. So I'm like,
Yeah,
it just makes sense personally. Like, might as well.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Have Have you seen Messi yet in America? That's the big ticket thing at the moment, right?
I saw him in well, not for the MLS, but I saw him in 2013
Okay.
play against Brazil. He scored a hat trick. It was like 4-3. It's like it's a crazy game. Literally one of his like top 10 goals ever he's scored like on pretty much like
You were
all
there.
his like highlight videos was like we were there at that game. He like cut in the left on Marcelo, top corner. Is nuts. But yeah,
Crazy. Yeah, yeah. I've seen the
not
prices for the
MLS.
tickets.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
the
so
prices for
expensive.
tickets are crazy, right? Yeah,
So
he is the
expensive.
big ticket draw. Yeah, but he is the goat. In my opinion, is the goat of this
I
current
agree.
era.
I agree.
Over CR7, yeah.
Have I seen CR7? No, I don't think I have.
Yeah. Ooh, because obviously being a United fan, I know you've been to Old Trafford, but yeah, you've not seen
Yeah,
CR7.
not on the right
Ooh,
timetable, unfortunately. I was like a little before and then after.
yeah.
So I missed
So
them
you
by
got
a little bit.
yeah, put that on your bucket list. You got to see CR7.
I might have to,
Trip to Saudi. Yeah, trip to
Oh,
Saudi.
yeah, I don't know if cards get another boom, then maybe we can afford it, but who knows?
Uh, it's good. Well, talking of the Saudi League, well, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with licensing for product over there if Topps goes for it because so many stars over there now. It's would you be interested in buying some cards from like Mane and Ronaldo in the Saudi League, especially in the first year?
And yeah, that's a tricky question. I mean, I bet you like there would definitely be a strong collector's base just from that demographic.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, are we talking about like would I want them to like collect? Would I just buy them because I think they could be good value, or like what do you mean by
Yeah,
that?
both. Yeah,
Yeah,
both. Like obviously with it being the legends, like it's like with Messi in the MLS, like people are waiting for that sort of pink polo and that pink shirt, and it's gonna pop. Like you could see some really nice, especially it's been a first year as well. So if Topps do it like they did with the, I think it's Liverpool lineage set, like the Topps first, like the Bowman first. So it's a first step, but it's again having a Ronaldo at a first of lineage coming into his career. It's just could it be something that holds value over time? Would it be something you'd be interested in collecting as having it as I've got Ronaldo from Lisbon days to Saudi Arabia days.
yeah. So that's a good question. I mean, personally, that's probably not something that I would collect just because I literally have zero affiliation with any of the Saudi teams like at all, and I'm not really actively watching those games. But like from a opportunity aspect, I feel like the cards over there would go crazy in terms of like Ronaldo first official Saudi kit, Mane, etc. Like, I mean, there's some money over there for sure, and I feel like
Yeah.
they don't really have cards of like their league or players. So I feel like there would be a strong like attraction for that. So I mean, it would be interesting to see. That's the at the very
Yeah.
least.
I hope it does happen. I said I hope it does happen because again I think it helps grow the hobby over there as well, which is obviously going to be beneficial for everyone. And again, having that like the first, even the Bowman first, Ronaldo auto, it would be kind of cool. It said say with Mane and Ruben Neves went over there. Some of the younger stars have gone over there. Was the young lad from Spain went over there? I forget his name.
Um,
Did he go from Betis?
I
Sociedad. He
don't
went from
know.
some roast. Yeah, it was some young lad who was tipped to do well. I think City might have been interested in him, and he's gone over there. So they've got some younger
Do
people
you
as
think
well.
it's sustainable?
Looking what happened with the Chinese league a few years back
That's
when
what
they
I
were buying
mean.
everyone,
Yeah.
yeah, I'd say no. But I feel like they're doing this a bit different, aren't they? They seem to be pushing a lot more because obviously Ronaldo's got the whole ambassador side of his. They've obviously got, I think they've got Beckham as well as an ambassador. It's like for football in Saudi Arabia. I think he's doing something over there
Is
for them.
he?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it's Saudi he's doing it for. I know it's some country around there. Then if it's not Saudi, but he's the massive push over there. Aren't they trying to get because they want a World Cup again? They want to do big stuff
Right.
over there. They only want to put World Cups and over there. So I think they're pushing like to be more. the place to be. And I'm hearing is it Portugal, Spain, and Morocco are doing a joint World Cup soon. So if you can have it spread over them three countries, I don't see why I couldn't do one with Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, or something. Some other countries over there that've got it.
Yeah.
It's again, it grows a game, it grows a hobby because I think they go hand in hand, don't they? Especially where Fanatics are pushing things at the moment. So I think it will be sustainable. I'm hearing it's not going to be a money issue over there in Saudi, is it? Let's face it. The money they're giving Neymar, Jesus.
I was messing around with someone. I was like, out of everyone that's gone to Saudi, Ronaldo probably got the worst deal. He only got like 400 mil for a couple of years, whereas just after that they were just splashing it like crazy. He should have held out for another 6 months. He would have got paid.
Yeah, I wouldn't surprise if in his contract he's got something where it's like matches the highest player in the league because he must have thought or spoke to him about what they want to do in the project they want to build. So all of a sudden he said, "Oh, we're going to bring these other players over and we want all the stars to be here." It's a smart guy, Ronaldo, isn't he? Let's face it. He probably said, "Well, the highest person in the league, I've got a match their ways, but like look at Neymar, and you get he's got a private jet, he's got a house with like 16 maids in it or something. It was crazy if it's true, obviously." And the money he was trying to offer Mbappe when he wanted him to come across, it was like ridiculous money, ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree. It's kind of nuts.
Yeah, I think Mbappe would have been funny to see. I'm not gonna lie, Mbappe over there would have been hilarious.
Dude, I would have done it, bro. Instead of getting, if I was Mbappe, I'd be like, yeah. Instead of getting beat 4-1 by Newcastle in the Champions League, I would take 700 mil for a year and then just go to Real Madrid. Like, I don't know. Some people get mad at me for that, but it just makes that team's a shambles.
Yeah, PSG, yeah, they always are. But can you imagine next year with Mbappe and Bellingham at Real Madrid?
Oh, jeez, that's scary. And
Vinny Jr. Yeah,
that's scary.
Tuchemi, Camavinga, yeah, dangerous team. Dangerous team. Bellingham at the moment. I mean, I don't know if you invest in Bellingham or not, but it's definitely the man on fire, isn't he? Man on form.
He sure is, man. He sure is. He's nuts. He is nuts. He is something else. Did not expect that from him. I did not think he was that type of player.
I don't think anyone did.
He's proven us all wrong.
I'm a bit upset because I get the hype. Listen, he's doing it at Real Madrid. It's great. But then it's like, he scored a 95th minute winner against Cadiz. All right. Do you know what I mean? It's like the Napoli game. Yeah, okay, you bossed that quite a bit. And Napoli are a tough team, but it's like at his age, I would have loved him to come to the Prem, but doing this week in week out Premier League team. Which is arguably the toughest, the best league in the world. And I think that's where he should have come first. Then you go to Madrid later on, like a bit like Haaland. He's openly said, "I'll be here for 4 years and then I'm going." I think that's what Bellingham should have done. Come Prem, get stuck in at a young age. Because if he has a big injury next couple of years and wants to come over to Prem 27, 28, after a couple of ACLs or whatever, it's kind of like, it's not the same guy, that we saw dominate for this. And it's just like, it's such a shame that you don't come to the best league and challenge yourself at the best time.
Yeah, I don't think you can come from Real Madrid back to the Prem, realistically. It just doesn't happen.
Do you not think he'll leave Madrid and come to the Prem?
I mean, it's possible, but like, who does that? No one does.
Michael Owen did.
Real Madrid, Barcelona, the Prem, like.
Michael Owen.
Yeah, but he was at the Prem initially.
Yeah, it went Prem back to La Liga and back to the Prem.
But that was and that was after. That was later on. That was like retirement age. Not the same.
It's not the same. I know, but I don't know. Maybe we're just a bit salty that he didn't come to the Prem. It would have been nice to see him play.
Yeah, 100%.
Obviously, being a blue, it would have been good to see that midfield of Rodri, Bellingham, De Bruyne.
Stop it.
Haaland up front. Oh, yeah. It would have been stuff of dreams made of. I mean, I make it all the time on FIFA and Champ Man. That's all I do. But that's the closest I get. Either.
Maybe one day.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, is he going to leave Madrid to come City? Especially after Pep's gone as well. And we're getting managed by God knows who.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, exactly. We end up being United, don't we? had the years of glory now, and in a couple of years, that's it. We're not getting David Moyes in charge. We're screwed.
It's all gonna come tumbling down.
I hope it doesn't. I hope we've got good infrastructure. At least we invest in our ground and stuff. We invest in our infrastructure, which is good. But yeah, let's just hope it stays. As a Blues, hope it stays.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. What's your obviously with you being less of a sort of collector, say you're more of an investor. What's your sort of favorite set, like look wise for you? Then as like someone who doesn't have that much of a kinship to go, I'm going to keep this like select or this prism from Trader. Would you have a certain set that draws you in?
Yeah, there's like a couple that I really like. I think 2014 Prism, 2017 Chrome. So like what I do collect gold 2014 matchups.
Okay.
So I have a couple of those. I mean, the set getting completed, it's gonna be pretty tough with Ronaldo Messi, but and then the other one I really like, which is kind of like super niche, is '03 United manuscript set, like those autos. I don't know if you've seen them.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
there's like Ronaldo. There's a Ronaldo one. There's a couple other
I think
guys.
it's nine. I think 90s has some of that. For some reason, I was 90s in the head. Like Jake, I'm pretty sure he's got some of them set. Maybe not, but I'm pretty sure I've seen.
Nah, those I know
No.
what you're talking about. But these are like '03 like Ronaldo. Basically, they're basically like Ronaldo rookie autos. Like I
Yeah.
like the look of those cards a lot. They're pretty sick. And then obviously like I like Flawless too. On I think just like probably Flawless. That's probably what I would throw in there to like sets that I really enjoy and would whether you want to call it collect or invest and
Yeah.
hold for long term. So yeah.
That's fair. I'm similar. I'm quite bougie. I like the National Treasures, like Flawless. It just feels like a card. You hold it you're like this. This is what I guess. Yeah, this is it. This is the
Are
one.
you a patch guy?
I really used to be. I've gone off. I'll say gone off, but I bought less patches. But I really used to love patches. Really did. Yeah. I think one of the first cards I bought a few years back was a Allen Iverson like upper deck, but it was like game used Iverson patch. I was like, this Iverson's game used, like it was the best to me. Like having that sort of so if it's game used, obviously yeah, patch wise, yeah. If any of like these napkin patches, it's just not associated with that. I'm not too fussed with. Yeah, I think that's why I've gone off him a little bit. But yeah, game used when you get like game used patch, it's just it's so sweet. It's so sweet. And then also they're always cheap as well. They're always like usually very cheap compared to getting an auto of that person, like AI auto. So just different pricing. So yeah, but yeah, you like patches?
I don't dislike patches. I think there's definitely a place for them. Yeah, I'm trying to even think. I wouldn't say I have like necessarily a preference between like a sleek parallel or like a patch auto, for instance. Like I just think I don't know, they're just different. I wouldn't even say I have like a preference per se, but um yeah, like I'm just trying to think like what card looks better to you? Like a flawless patch auto or like a 2017 Chrome? Like I think they both they both look
Yeah,
sick
but
in
yeah,
different like
yeah.
regards.
But if I had to
Like
take one, I, is it an RPA? Like
forget
just
value,
RPA?
forget value.
Yeah, yeah. But I think if it's definitely even more so if it's RPA, but having that like auto and the patch of someone I collect, say, then it's just for collection. I think I'd go for the RPA
That's fair.
over a Chrome or even a Chrome variant. Even if the scarcity is not the same, like even if that's of like 50 and that's a 25, I don't know, that sort of a kinship is more, yeah, it has more of a meaning to it, I suppose.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
card you
That's
may never
fair.
seen. Yeah.
I can
So
definitely
yeah.
see that. But
Yeah, I think it's all how you built into to collecting, I suppose, isn't it? If you collect it because you have that sort of connection to a team or a player, you want as much little pieces to puzzle together. It's like you got a patch and an auto from that player. It's like, yes, give me more. Give me
exactly.
more.
Exactly.
So obviously, with you coming over to UK shows, how have you sort of noticed the difference between what we're doing over here compared to what you see day to day over your side of the pond?
Yeah, so there's definitely a difference. I mean, one, just obviously what the shows are persisting of. Like in the US shows, there's typically some soccer people, but I'd say the amount of soccer in the US show is probably equivalent to the percentage of the amount of basketball or football at a UK show. It's just like completely like flip-flopped.
Yeah.
Uh it it's so like in that regard it's definitely more en enjoyable in the sense that, like, you just see more soccer collectors at the show, and you're not, like, one of, like, the 5 to 10 that do it at a normal show, which is
Yeah.
cool. Um, Differences, and I've kinda mentioned this a few times, obviously, the hobby in the US has been around for, like, years and decades, so it's just definitely
Yeah.
more established. There's less people I'd say there's less, I don't know how to say it. Like, there's less people that are, uh, I guess there's no like shops or people that are just buying constantly. It's much more of like an illiquid market. I would argue, to an extent, which I mean it just is what it is.
Yeah.
And I would say also with that, like high end cards, let's just say like 5K or above are not as like deals of that size are not as prevalent. Whereas the US, every show you'll see most likely multiple five-figure deals happen to some extent throughout. So just the size and the scale is just not necessarily where the US is at, which, makes complete sense and is totally cool. But just from my observation, that's kind of what I've been seeing.
Yeah. I think as well is a couple of things go into that, don't they? Like the one is we're sort of when it comes to these modern sports cards, 'cause I always say we've had a big card culture over here in the cardphilic society, which is very different from sports cards we collect today. Because these are cigarette cards that then they have shows week in week out. Um, but again, it doesn't have a lot of them use it out on social medias. It's the older generation with their cigarette cards from 1902 sort of thing. This sort of modern era now with these new shows, we're sort of in our infancy, like I said, whereas the US has been doing this for decades, if not 100 plus years. So we're baby steps with the infancy, and obviously America's here. And then the size of America compared to the size of the UK, it's like we don't have the amount of people in the hobby with that sort of funds to do that sort of stuff. I think it'd be good if we, like I said, with the US, you have the national. Everyone from around America and now the world is coming across to this. If we can get something in Europe, whether it's the European or the international, and it can move around London one year, Amsterdam next year, Berlin the year after, and grow the hobby that way, and get them people all of a sudden spending their money out of the European countries, it will help a lot because I think then you start seeing the bigger shows in UK, people come over from these different countries a lot more, and there'd be more money sort of flowing, and it would help get to that stage of five-figure deals. But we're definitely, like I said, definitely light years behind. We are very, very much far behind in that deal.
Yeah, which is, expected. I mean, like you said, just the size of America compared to, the UK, it's just natural. I guess I don't want to call it common sense, but just like the amount of
Yeah,
people, numbers don't
yeah.
lie.
Exactly, exactly that. Exactly that. Numbers do not lie. But it's going to be an interesting time. I think you obviously come and seen us a couple of years into having like proper shows, so it'll be interesting to see what it's like in 5 years' time and in 10 years' time, and we'll sit back and chat and go, remember that time you came to the show and it was 100 people there, and the highest deal was £250.
Nah, there's definitely more than that, but I know what you mean.
Yeah, yeah. But talking on the future of the hobby, Fanatics are obviously here to take over, not take part. Um, they bought tops, they bought printers, which Panini and Tops didn't do prior. They always outsourced the printing of cards. So they're making big strides, and we talked a bit about it before. But Fanatics events. How do you feel? What's your thoughts on Fanatics events? They want to challenge the national slash take over the national. They want it to be more of a Comic-Con sort of vibe to sports cards. And yeah, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah. I mean, just Fanatics in general. I mean, I think how you want to look at it, how I kind of like look at it, is just you just kind of correlate it to how typical economics work across all industries. What we've been seeing over the past couple of years in the sports card hobby, I would just say it's a consolidation of power, essentially, if you want to use that terminology. Like,
Yeah,
let's look at the Amazon model. First they start with books, then they move to this, then they move to that, and then now all of a sudden they control pretty much everything going on in regards to you know, whatever, just to retail in
yeah,
general.
yeah.
I think we are, slowly and surely seeing that same exact, thing really play out with Fanatics, in the sense that they're kind of the hobby was very fragmented in the fact that it was, not necessarily centralized. There's a lot of people doing their own thing to a certain scale. Fanatics has pretty much come in, bought up a high percentage of the main players, and are just in it to just destroy. Not I don't want to use the word destroy.
Destroy. Well,
I don't
I
want to
say
use the word destroy.
destroy.
I would just say take just
Dominate.
say
Yeah, it's dominate.
that's a much better word, a much nicer word to say. Dominate, and uh take control, and increase market share. Um I think I think a lot of people are that have been in the space for years and years and never really had to feel that competition. For instance, like, always had allocation, always had a show that was unopposed. People would just come, XYZ, didn't really have to innovate. I think a lot of those people are going to be very, I don't want to say in trouble, but they're going to be forced to change a little bit, to innovate, and execute at a higher level than what they've had to for the past decade or two. Like, let's be real, people that have had allocation for the past 3, 4, 5 years have just made absolute bank from pretty much just doing nothing. Just because what's happened with wax prices and all that. So
Yeah.
for certain people, that's going to be very difficult to. If they lose that, it's going to be very difficult to sustain the whatever type of business model they're running, if that was their main way of operating. And the same goes with shows. If you're happy with just your same old show, not bringing anything new to the table or trying to improve your product, but you're just happy with the same attendance and experience, you know I'm, if there's a way to make money from it, I'm sure Fanatics are going to try to exploit that, and take not take it for themselves, but improve upon it, and make a better event.
Yeah, it's something I'm definitely keeping an eye on. I think Fanatics events is. I think they're gonna do it right. And it's a horrible thing to say because people think I'm talking bad on national, but as in they're gonna make sure that it's like a very clean area, clean venue, no aircon problems, no Wi-Fi problems. There's gonna be staffs there. They're gonna want people to go there and enjoy it because like they said, the hobby's not been advertised properly, and it's like the other. We're gonna grow it tenfold. They are in this big money, and they don't want to lose, and they don't usually lose, so they are going to go all out. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what they do. Um, it's going to be expensive for me to fly over to America all the time for these Fanatics events, but I feel like it's something you don't want to miss. Personally, I feel like it's going to be that big.
Yeah, I mean, the way I see it is just like, on one team there's Michael Rubin, who is, I don't know how much he's worth, but he's worth quite a bit of money. Has a great track record of building and growing businesses, and then his competition are the 55, 60-year-old struggling to use the internet guy on his keyboard, running his show, or flipping wax or whatever, that has just been in the hobby, just coasting for the past 20 years. Who do you think ends up on top if they clash?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. It seems David versus Goliath in terms of like
Yeah.
who's going to come out, and to an extent, like that you could argue that it's for good reason, or maybe not, and it just kind of all depends on how you want to look at it.
Yeah. I think it's. I personally, I think it's going to be good. I think in every sort of business or whatever, you should always have a evolve or cease sort of moment. This is not that stage where you evolve or you just decease because you're not good enough. Then you're probably not in the right business. So this is good. It's sort of not so much a purge, but he's saying this is how we need to evolve. This is things we need to do better. I mean, I said like the fact that Topps and Panini been doing it for so long and they didn't own their own printers is crazy to me. Fanatics came in and did it straight away. It's like we can't rely on third sources there, third party sources. Like we need to own these things so we can do it on our timeline and our and our quality control. It's like, yeah, it makes perfect sense. Where this stuff with Panini, it's getting all sort of drawn out now, where WWE are dropping the licenses and canceling this or the other. Probably UFC will follow, and it's a bit bad for the hobby because the news is getting put out there. It looks like the hobby's sort of loggerheads, but in the grand scheme of things, I do think Fanatics will do what is best for the hobby, and that can be good.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean there's definitely a lot of discussion around that point. Exactly, are they going to be what's best for the hobby? Honestly, I don't know. I mean, I think they'll definitely bring more eyeballs on it. Uh, we can only hope for the best. I think that they'll definitely have a longer term view than what Panini and Panini has had in the past couple years. Just mass producing. I think because I mean they're not in it to make a ton of money in 1 or 2 years by printing a load of products. They're looking,
Yeah,
in order for them to really make money on their investment. They're looking for a long sustained growth, which I think in that regard, yeah, 100% is a better way of looking at things. So I think that's a positive. Um, but besides, yeah, I mean, I've heard a lot of different arguments from people both sides. Some people are very excited about it. Some people are not excited about it. My main question for you is the events are one thing. What are your thoughts about like a Fanatics Live as opposed to as a competitor like a Whatnot, for instance, or an eBay Live? Because I think that's
so,
to me that has more implications than the events, in my opinion.
okay. So why do you think it's got more implications?
So what? Okay, so let's play this out. And I mean, I'm sure this is not like necessarily breaking news, but so
Dun dun dun! Breaking news.
how many breakers would you say we have like currently out there? Just
Just
like
what in UK?
well,
Or
yeah, let's just use the UK for instance.
okay. Uh, in just sports because I was just thinking, we so literally
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about this
yeah.
before. Yeah, on one.
Like
So
50, 100 maybe?
yeah, and a lot of them are sort of joining forces at the moment as well. You're seeing a lot of people join forces.
Okay.
Um, yeah,
All
which
right,
is
so
interesting.
let's just say 100 just for easy math's sake.
Yeah, yeah,
And you'd say probably there's what like probably like 4 or 5 that are the best, the biggest probably.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. So like all right. So um what happens if and do they break on Whatnot? Do they break on where they mostly Whatnot?
yeah. Same whatnot. Maybe a couple be on Twitch. Maybe Instagram sort of breaks sort of died down a lot.
Gotcha. So let's just say Fanatics wants to with Fanatics Live wants to A gain market share from Whatnot and B just wants to improve their platform, whatever. They grab the 3 of the 5 biggest breakers in the UK. They get them on an exclusive deal. They offer them wax at retail or whatever, a special deal on wax that they're not offering
Yeah,
everyone else. But you can only rip wax on the Fanatics Live platform from Tops, let's just say, because you can only do that.
yeah,
Um, or just you can only rip wax direct from the Fanatics. Yeah, or you're just limiting it that you can only rip wax in general from Tops on the Fanatics platform, and only certain people have licenses.
Yeah.
What does that do to the other 97 UK breakers that will either have to pay way more for their wax, their Tops wax, which kills margins, or just don't have even like get allocation at all?
I think, of course, we had this sort of arrival of apps recently with VOTs and then whatnot, and you saw sort of people go over to one. Some people got exclusive deals and on better rates for sales. You saw, some people get better rates here, and ultimately whatnot won. I think you're always going to have a superior sort of platform, and if whatnot can't match it, then in sports, I'm sure they'll push TCG and they'll have more Pokemon stuff on there. What and Fanatics will just be sports. Both companies can still thrive,
For sure. And then
and I
what
think everyone
stops
else. Sorry, go on.
I was gonna say, what stops a Whatnot or a Fanatics Live from, instead of just, like, even getting people on these deals, just from, like, we're just gonna hire a breaker who has our product, just break, that's your job, et cetera,
Yeah,
whatever. Them just building out the entire thing, like, organically.
it gives people jobs though. You see, if whatnot are hiring people just to break for them or
No, it
finalize it,
does, for
it's giving
sure.
to people jobs. I think the interesting part as well is because we're so like I said, such in infancy. It'll be interesting to see who wants to be a breaker for 3 years, for 5 years, like as a career for 10, 15 years. Like you've had a turnaround and turnover of breakers. People come and go and whatnot in the UK. So it's kind of a bit more difficult. A bit probably better me asking you that question because you've had what is it? The card shop. You've got Loop, whatnot. You've already got Fanatics Live, so you've got like 4 different streaming platforms for sports cards. Like, have you seen drop-offs and people leave and complaints, etc., about products and stuff like
Um, to be honest, like, I'm not really tuned into that scene too much myself, like,
that? Okay, yeah,
I'm not really, like, on Whatnot too often or anything like that. But I do know, like, a lot of people that were breaking a year ago, 2 years ago, when it was, like, really hot,
yeah,
are no longer doing so, which, I mean, I even tried it for, like, a couple weeks. I mean, it wasn't for me, but, point is, like, yeah, I think like anything, I guess like anything, right? The cream will rise to the top in terms of, like, who's the best at it,
yeah,
who garners the most attention, the biggest audience. So, I mean, I guess that's the natural case. I'm just saying, I guess I'm just arguing more so in the terms of, like, ability to get into the market and establish a
yeah,
name for yourself
yeah. So I
more
think
so.
again, if I'm wrong, correct me. But I think you're sort of looking at it as like, is it sort of fair that a big company can come in and just wipe out these little people aren't companies that are trying to get into hobbies? Sort of like they are, like you said, if they give the five people better deals, the 95 people are left in the cold, sort of thing. And I get it. There's 95 people worse off than the five that are getting better deals. But it's would the
So
95. Sorry.
yeah, no, I was gonna say, I don't think it's not that it's fair or not fair. It's just the
Okay,
natural
that's good.
evolution of, like, how it is. Like, it
Yeah,
is what it is. They're the best 5 for a reason because 'cause they're doing their job better than XYZ. I'm just stating the fact that going forward, it's a lot more difficult to, uh, I guess, enter the breaking industry, I would argue,
yeah. But yeah,
and
again, that's
and
flip
grow
side to
and
that.
grow it. Yeah.
Yeah, the flip side to that though, should that be the side of the hobby that is growing? Because it's the stuff that's obviously some people we've had the issue over here recently where whatnot have introduced Klarna, and a lot of people have sort of not really agreed with that because it's sort of fueling a gambling addiction. So should we be growing the sort of the gambling side of the hobby, which is obviously unregulated and could get people in trouble, or should we grow the other side of it where it's a collection, a hobby of collecting and swapping and trading with with cash that way?
Yeah, that's a question in itself, right? I think naturally, the gambling aspect is, I feel like, a lot more easy to market and appeal to people, right? I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
I just think naturally that's what's gonna. I mean, I guess I don't know. I could be wrong. I feel like naturally that's what's going to grow, and that's what's going to take precedence over over everything really. I mean, how many people do you know that buy and collect and just don't sell cards like at all? Like everyone's flipping, and when they're flipping, they flip because they buy a prospect and they think he's going to go up or XYZ, whatever. I mean, even that is gambling to an extent. Call it
Yeah,
investing gambling. There's a I don't,
yeah,
is there how much of a fine line really is there?
yeah. I think again, mainly because of sort of my history in sort of collecting as well, and my local car Felix show is literally down the road from me. So for them, it's a lot different. They have one manual that comes out a year that tells you the price of everything. You open it up and you find out what year it's from, and that's the price of the products from that year, sort of thing. Um, so like when I've there's been a few deals that I've done where it's not so much a prospect, but it's someone that I know that someone else likes. I've just wanted to trade a card, and then maybe money's gone around. I don't know if is that a better way for the hobby to be? It's like people just getting cards that they want. Yes, the money may have to get involved as well because the value's not there, as opposed to people using Klarna and getting into numerous breaks and having to sort of catch up each payday with themselves because a bit of a downward spiral. But I would say on the flip side of that is Fanatics wouldn't spend all this money on Fanatics Live if they didn't think it was a smart place to go. So, they obviously don't care about the gambling side of it and it being unregulated and people's, addictions.
Yeah. I mean, is it right? Is it what it should be? That's a different question.
Yeah.
I'm not yeah. I mean, I'm not even necessarily
Yeah.
like here to argue that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but I think just naturally, like even over sports betting is huge now. I feel like it's just grown ever since at least over here in the United States, ever since it's become you have the sports betting apps, which you haven't always been
Yeah.
able to use them. It's more legal in more states. Um, Now every Sunday for football or whatever the case may be, everyone just placing $20 bets, $15 bets here and there. It's just natural for people. I think it's the same way. Whether that's right, whether that's sound financial practices, like that's another question. But I just
Yeah.
think where society where society is at this point and kind of where we're headed. I,
Yeah.
I don't know. People are just very dumb sometimes, to be quite frank, and just don't budget their budget themselves as they should.
It's that thing I was talking about this before. It seems I don't know if it's the same in the US. Obviously, I know you're not on like what or Loop or whatever you use over there, but it seems at the moment over here, especially that everyone sort of like wants it's like a lottery. Everyone wants that hit,
Exactly.
and literally, if let's say they've got Bellingham and it's like some rookie year product that's getting broken, and they get a Bellingham rookie. I swear to God, there's a screenshot of the breaker pulling it and whatnot. It'll be in Facebook groups, Instagram. Just got this of a break. I want X, Y, Z for it. So they're not even got the card in hand. It's still the breaker's not even put in a top loader yet. Do you know what I mean? And it's like people just want that quick. I'll put a few quid in, I cash out and dash. And it's yeah. I always say, if you're gonna bet and gamble on, City beating Leipzig 2-0 and waste 20 quid because they win 3-1, you've got nothing to show for it. Whereas if you buy an Alvarez card for 20 quid and he scores, yes, he goes off, £5. If he doesn't score, he doesn't come on. He doesn't come on. He's on the bench start of the game. Doesn't come on. That card probably worth 15, 20 quid the next day. So it's like, do it that way. Buy cards, please.
True. It's true.
Don't go on DraftKings and bet on three corners. Buy an Alvarez card. Hope he scores.
Yeah, there's definitely pros and cons to both um situations I'd say you just described. Because certain times, one, you could be totally right about the player, but the card you buy is not right, and it goes down and when the player's doing amazing, which has definitely happened before.
Oh
Or
yeah,
and also, I mean, it's not as easy to move the card sometimes. So I mean, that's other things to factor for sure. But
yeah.
and there's
At least you got
costs.
something to show for it though. At least
It's
you've
true.
got something. Like I said, if you gamble, that's when you got the receipt. That's it. You get an email receipt saying you put £20 on your app. Whereas at least with this, you've still got it. You can. Remember that time I thought I was smart of buying sports cards? Oh, Look at all these base Rashfords I've got because I thought it was gonna be the next big thing. It's like, you
It's
know,
very true. It's very true.
you always got a memory and a story.
Yeah, you're right on with that. You're right on.
Yeah. So where do you see the hobby sort of going in the next like 5 years then with Fanatics and obviously the growth in sort of Europe as well on our side?
It's a good question because I think there's multiple components. Myself, I'm a big like a macroeconomics guy, so I don't necessarily am like super, at least in the short term, in the next, I don't know, however long you want to look at it. I'm not like super excited about the overall macro picture in terms of the world economy, but which I mean, regardless of how big or small you grow the hobby, like that just is a factor in terms of people affording to get in, prices of cards, XYZ, less disposable money, etc. But in terms of like just the basics of fanatics getting into it and taking an active role, like just that, yeah, I would definitely bet on fanatics to grow the hobby to some regard for sure. What that ends up looking like in a 5-year term, like it's hard to say. It's definitely hard to say. Like, are we gonna have another boom like we saw in COVID? Probably not that drastic.
Yeah.
I would not expect that by any regards. But would we, potentially see some sustainable uptick throughout everything? I mean, I'd want to think that, right?
Yeah, we all do. We
In
all
a
do.
nice world, we'd love to see that. Probably reverse what we've seen over the past, 2, 3 years, would be fantastic. But, you know, it's really hard to say. I mean, I'm confident that, some people say cards are especially soccer. Soccer's not here to stay. Cards are not, here to stay. I mean, we've seen over a century that cards have been a thing, maintained value. So, I mean, based off that data and that time, those years, like, yeah, I'm confident to say that, you know, they're not going to go away by any means. I think they'll definitely, grow and be as valuable, if not hopefully more valuable than what they are, and more accepted than whether it be like as an alternative investment or just wanting to collect it as as a hobby, quite literally, uh, by more people.
Yeah.
The one difference I could really see that would make a difference in the if we're talking about strictly like prices of cards, would be will because I know PWCC did it for a little while. There's other people that did it, but the lending on cards, which I don't know how familiar you are with that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So like obviously PWCC was
Golden as well
offering
used to do that.
collateral loans on their cards, which was one of the reasons they got in such big trouble and had to get bought out because they were underwater over quite a few, and especially with like obviously we know if there's debt involved in these markets that just increases the broad supply of liquidity in the system
Yeah.
essentially, which just will naturally raise the prices of cards just because there's just more dollars floating around. If that's the case, and assuming if someone's able to somewhat figure something like that out better than it's been, I think that could be a potential like explosion for the hobby, I guess, just because of like you're just again, I don't want to even say like, obviously people will use like credit to buy a big card or something like that or whatever the case may be. Fund your cards, another program, which is essentially something along those lines. But I think something along those lines would definitely increase the overall value, especially of like the bigger items. If someone comes up with a new innovative way. With that being said, if interest rates continue to go up and credit tightens,
Yeah.
like that's a whole nother thing. So I think that to me that's a big variable.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like, it's one of the things that I think people are so invested in this hobby that you sort of sometimes you forget. You just sort of hear the news coming in like, oh, Fanatics gonna do this, and you then sort of forget the outside world, and it's like, oh yeah, a lot of people are going to have to remortgage over here, and it's also an extra 300, £400 a month to get paid. It's like that's £400 they don't have to play around with no more. The hobby then becomes a little bit smaller because they have a drop out, they're not spending as much, and like you said, the liquidity is just not there as much as it used to be. It's like, oh yeah, but we should have
Dude, it's
upside because
you're
we said,
100% right. And I'll say, like, it's honestly the worst thing when you're at a show and when you're with, let's just say, your friends or whatever the case may be, whoever you're talking to, and someone wants to buy your card, even if it's like it's probably a little less than you want to sell it, but like this has happened to me multiple times, but you're still doing all right on it, XYZ.
yeah,
Um, and you're like, no, I shouldn't do this. I should get more for it. I shouldn't move this card. Um, and then you leave the show and you're like, "Oh, man, I feel like this card's definitely gonna be going down in the next couple months. Like, why should I should just take the I should just sell it because next thing you know, there's a new comp on it that's down like another 15%, and the price you would have got beforehand is now like the realistic price."
yeah,
And it's like you're in once when you're in that bubble and you're like at the show, we'll call the show like that bubble where everyone's so
yeah,
card heavy and so positive. It's like a positivity like circle. Everyone's so
yep.
like focused
They're
on it.
enablers. They're enablers. That's what we all
Exactly,
are. They're enablers.
exactly. You're not thinking about it like in a I feel like you think about things through in a much less practical,
Oh,
mindset than, like, the second you leave the show floor, it's all different, so, I
that
don't know if
fresh
you
air
agree
hits
with
you.
that or not.
Yeah, that fresh air hits you. That reality hits you, and you go, "Oh, I could have done with that money actually." To be fair, yeah. Oh well.
Like, why did I
Like I
do that?
said, yeah. You just see your card value go down, down, down. Next few weeks, you're thinking, "Oh, this next show, I'm gonna take half what I offered." It's horrible. We've all been there, friend. We've all been there. I
It's
think.
not great.
Uh, I mean, I don't know if you watch this stuff, but like Rothcard says, man, you never go broke selling at a profit, and I've started to do that now. Like, even if it's less than I wanted, I'm just like, it's a profit, let's go, and let's how us cash. Because I said, it's been many times that you walk out of a show, and you think, I could have left here with X, Y, Z thousands of pounds, and I'm leaving here with more cards instead. It's like, what an idiot. What an idiot. I've come here to get rid of these and move into these, and instead I've just sold a few of them, but got more into this. It's like, this hobby, this
Like,
hobby.
why?
Yeah, yeah, it's just like, But in there, it was like bliss. It come out into real world, it's like, what have I done? Ah,
What have
yeah.
we done here? That's hilarious. I
How has it
can
happened?
relate, I can relate. Your plans sometimes just go out the window.
Oh, 100%. You get caught up in the moment so much. So much.
Absolutely, it's wild. It's
Yes.
wild.
Is there anything else that you collect? Are you strictly cars? Is there anything else that you sort of collect or even flip like Funkos, tickets, for instance? Shirts.
No, I don't. My one buddy does tickets, but no, I pretty much just cards. Oh dear.
Oh,
You
okay.
still here, brother?
Yeah, so yeah, you sort of blacked out
Okay,
saying what you
cool,
were going
cool,
to.
cool. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Just making sure nothing
Yeah.
crazy happened.
That's yeah.
But yeah, no, pretty
I thought
much
you
just
might be.
cards. Yeah.
Okay, I thought, for some reason, I thought you might be one of the guys that collects like soccer shirts. I
Oh
don't know why.
no. Yeah,
Oh,
no. I don't know. I mean I have a few. I definitely have a few, but nah, it's more so my brother.
okay.
He's he's
Okay.
more it doesn't collect, but he's more into that sort of thing than like cards,
Yeah.
for instance. I've tried to get him into cards, but he's just like I thought he would like it, to be fair, a lot because he's big into FIFA and all that and plays Ultimate Team, so it's very similar, but it's just a little
Yeah.
different. A little
Yeah.
different.
I always. Yeah. See, I'm a big collector. I collect anything from sort of vinyls, games, Funko Pops, cards. Yeah. There's not much I don't collect. I'm a big hoarder, basically.
Oh man, I want to see
Yeah.
that garage of yours.
Well, I
Got to be
always said,
piled
oh,
high.
yeah. But the thing is, like, seeing like comics, I'm always like, do I want to get my vinyls graded? And but then it's like, I'll never get to play them. I'm a bit of a kid. Like, I like playing my vinyl. I will buy. I even still now go to with its charity shops. I buy old school, pressings of artists I like from the old school days. And I like having like the first pressing, or even at least the first year or two of pressing of the original stuff. But then it's the fact that now it's everything's sort of graded. These grading companies coming around, AMG, Wata Games. It's like I still want this. Like I get it, like GoldenEye, getting it graded, I get it, but like I'd love to put it in my old Nintendo 64 and play it for a bit. Do you know what I mean? It's a dilemma in the moment. Yeah, at least with cards, you get it graded, and it's like I can still play this. I can still play this. It's fine. Goal!
That's very true. That's very true. That's interesting. Interesting thought.
Yeah, well, it's gonna be. I think. Yeah, I think the big thing. Let's say the bigger thing we're having over here in a moment in the UK is tickets, because we've previously only just had like PSA and it was sort of varied in price, but recently we've had our local sort of grading company MGC do tickets. I think that's helped, and now Beckett as well have opened up their ticket submissions. But I think tickets is kind of getting big over here. We get a lot from like soccer games, and there's always so many debuts, first goals and stuff like that. So that's big. And when you get big fights over here, like the Tyson Fury fights and or people get ungraded, I think that's become a bigger thing over here. Whereas obviously, I think US wise, it's mainly like Super Bowl tickets that does well. I do have the Mahomes Super Bowl victory in Miami.
Both
yeah, no, it's so hard to get the last one.
Really?
Eagles. Yeah, I think it was like it wasn't a physical ticket. You got a commemorative one that didn't have any details on, and you had to send it off to get one. So I've seen a few go up on eBay, which was like a full-on ticket. Whether a class is a PSA graded and a class is an actual ticket, but yeah. So there's a lot of commemorative ones that are 10 a penny, but yeah, the actual tickets people have to send off them. So.
Oh wow, interesting.
I know. The rest of it's like lanyard passes, for that VIP ones. You've seen a few of them fly up as well, but yeah, I do need the actual ticket. I'm not gonna lie.
Get there eventually.
It's the bane of my existence, my friend. It's the bane of my existence. I'm telling you. Having my home as someone's PC as well is the bane of my existence. It's like changed the way I collect cards massively.
Interesting.
Let's face it, it's probably the most expensive active player, I'd say, in the hobby.
Mahomes?
Yeah. Do you not think? You look at his rookies, his base optic is ridiculous. Like I've got a base 9. That was like, I think that was like $400 plus. It's like it's a base optic.
I mean, LeBron's pretty up there.
Yeah, but people seem to have this like love-hate with LeBron, don't they?
Yeah, but
like,
I mean, his Chrome 10s are still worth like probably what, $5,000?
Yeah, it's Chrome. Yeah, I'll say it's Chrome. But then what's Mahomes Hollow 10 rookie? Like, to me, like I know it's probably I don't know if that's apples to apples because it's a Chrome compared to the Hollow. Yeah,
it's definitely up
but
there.
it's just
Mahomes. There's more options though, because there's the Donruss, there's Optic, there's Prism, there's
but that's like what you were saying before though, about buying sort of the right cards, because if you do just buy the Donruss paper base, it's sort of it's just for your collection. That's not going to go anywhere in the future.
No, you're right about that.
So that's what I say. It's just changed the way like I've had to, because I used to even stuff like Leroy Sané. I used to, being a City fan, we watched him play with Electric for City. You can buy his cards 10 a penny now, so that collection's easy. I can buy whatever, whenever. With Mahomes, it's kind of like, I don't know if I can afford the I don't know if I can afford the National Treasures RPA of Mahomes of 2017 or 2018 or 2019 or 2020. All of a sudden, like 5 years deep, I can afford that National Treasures. I can afford that one. So it definitely changes the way. I have to go to a lot of just numbered stuff now. I think the only way I'm gonna have anything that's low numbered is just buy Prism Select low numbered stuff for quite good good money. But when I say low numbered, anything to like 199. So not low numbered, but yeah. And it's just the way you gotta collect it and enjoy it that way, I suppose.
Yeah. I mean, that's the nice thing. There's kind of like something for everyone, regardless if you're a kid, you want to spend like £5, $5, whatever, or if you you want to drop some millions in the card market. There's something for everyone. Yeah. We're all like somewhere in between there.
Yeah, 100%. So I think I got that upset that I didn't get. Was it the? It might have been a Hollow. It might have been or was it the Prism? I think it was a 2017 Prism, because obviously with that year, there's not a Prism Silver. So it's just
there is no. It's only Prism. It's only Prism Silver.
Oh, Prism Silver. Yeah. So there's no like Prism. But on the obviously search, it always just says Prism. It never says like Silver Prism or anything else. So it's always the Prism. I think I went to get a 10, and it just ended up going up and up and up. And I was like, right, how do I make myself feel better? So I ended up buying the Mahomes signed mini helmet. So I was like, that'll do. That'll make me feel that's on the side now of my house. And it's just like, still not the same though. I still miss not having that the Prism. So that is still something I'm still chasing. I'd have to get that sort of stuff. I think just to complete my collection. I think a little bit.
Hopefully it comes down a little more then for you.
I think this is another thing about the market. I think right now is where it should. It's like where it should be, and it shouldn't go up or down. So I think everyone's baked in. He's like the greatest for the next 10 years, and I don't know if he's going to win. He's won two MVPs, two Super Bowl MVPs, two Super Bowls. It's sort of like what more? Like does winning a third make it go up that much more? Like in my eyes, it shouldn't do. I think people sort of baked in is great.
I think I mean honestly, I feel like he's just gonna rise with time over the course of the hobby. Like if the hobby grows, I feel like he'll just grow with it, right? Because I think you're right in the sense that like he's baked in. I think now it's just. I mean, if he wins 2 more, I think we're talking a different story.
Do you think 4 Super Bowls means his price should go up a lot more? Yeah.
Probably, right? But then again, you have to like factor in like how baked in is he. So
this is the thing. I feel like it is. But then again, we're looking like Josh Allen's prices, and I'm like, he's not done anything yet. And it's like, it's a weird one. It's weird with NFL. That's why I like collecting NFL so much. Like I think soccer's kind of easier because you got CR7, Messi, Haaland, Mbappe. Yeah, you may have like Bellingham floating around as well, but they're the big 4 names that move daily. Like them 4 names there, just daily transactions.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like whereas if you're a fan, you want to buy City fan here, Jeremy Doku. It's like
that's
the guy. To move that guy. Yeah, it's gonna be harder to move him though. Do you know what I mean? There's like 4 big names. Like NFL, like it just changes like week in gaming. Like watching the Pats game of the week, and it took Matt Jones out and brought Bailey Zappi back in. It's like it was what 4 weeks ago they dropped him from the roster. You know what I mean? It was crazy.
No, you're right about that. And people react so much week to week. It's insane.
It's crazy. It's crazy. But I think the good thing is now the hype is over in the UK. We're getting the shows are back on again. It's like show season. So the shows every couple of weeks. NFL's 5 weeks in. NBA's about to start. We've just had the Dame trade. I'm hoping like the NBA hype, because when you get caught in the NFL hype, the NBA hype, the card shows are so much better because there's so much buzz in the room. Obviously, Prem's like well and truly kicked in. Champions League's kicked in, so I'm looking forward to having that like buzz again in the room, man, for sure. It's just different. It's just different. But I bet like you go, I've had you for ages. We'll have to do this again.
It's good, man. I enjoy it. I enjoyed it. I appreciate you for having me on. And am I the first American on the pod?
You are. And you know what? I feel bad now though because I don't know if you know him, Carlson Cards, a good friend of mine. I was like, yeah, I'd definitely get you on. He's in Wisconsin, so times are obviously different. But yeah, he's I will have to get him on. But I think having you on and your knowledge as well, and again, seeing you in action on the card show floor, people can learn. Yeah, people can learn a lot. So having you on and sort of picking your brains and getting your knowledge out there to people has been greatly appreciated. I'm sure people are going to love this. But yeah, definitely have to get you on again soon. But yeah, I appreciate your time. I appreciate you as always, brother. We'll keep in touch. But no, another episode. If you listen this far, you're the real MVPs because us two can talk all day about cards, But no, thanks again to Star Jersey Sports Cards, aka Josiah, the main man. And for you guys for listening, and I'll see you guys soon.
Awesome.